pleasure to meet all at last. And here we are again, HJN Season 5, and basically various materials that we're going to be covering. I plan on doing a total of 5 episodes with materials in mind. I don't exactly count this as a mini-series because there's only 5 episodes worth, but glass is what we have in mind for the next subject. Number 2713, here we go. As I've spoken about with plastics, glass also happens to have a variety of usages in today's time. Not only because there have been new innovations made upon the production of glass, but also for the fact that there's lots more usages other than the standard issues of windows and doors. Yeah, glass is mostly known for creating unique square, circular, rhombus, triangle, or whatever kind of shapes of things that we call windows. Objects that we can see through because glass is, in fact, transparent. But, as you probably know by now, the production of glass is quite simple, unlike what we've seen with plastics. While plastics happen to be made utilizing the various functions of different chemicals and other such substances, typically derived from plant matters as a means to create that unique, flexible, malleable, or even tough substance that we know of, glass is on the more organic side of things. As in, all you need to do is to grab big handfuls of sand, heat it up, and it basically turns into a nice little molten goop. A goop of which that can be formed into a mold or basically used in the form of what we call glass blowing. This is how various china, vases, and other such things are made, typically as decorations within your house. And we're certainly not going to forget that with most china and such things that are also decorative for the house, glass is not the only material in that part. There's also ceramics and porcelain and other such things. But glass has been known as a unique piece for creating unique decorative items. It's also been known for creating certain statues, almost making you think it's like an ice sculpture that can somehow withstand the heat of the sun. Yeah, but it's glass, no doubt. The real big difference is that ice melts under intense heat, whereas glass usually doesn't, unless it's volcanic level heat. Like I've said, sand is typically used as the main basis for the creation of glass to begin with. By melting it down, typically in temperatures over a few thousand degrees, you can get the sand to create a nice little goop that can eventually be smoothened and flattened down into a surface, whether by a mold or otherwise, and then when it dries / cures, it forms a glass panel, which can often be used for windows, doors, etc. And while those are in fact the most common and profound usage of glass by this point in time, most of our houses, cars, and other such items happen to be made out of glass. But, some people might know by now, some of our smartphones and mobile devices also utilize a glass panel, typically in order to act as a barrier between the outside world and the inner components, including the backlighting technology. But as we know, like most things, glass is rather infamous for one major weakness. Depending on what the glass is, how it was constructed, and what it can withstand, it is known to break. You're familiar with that unique cliche of stuntsmen jumping through windows in Hollywood films, or even many of today's films, in which case, many of them are made by independent makers out there. You're familiar with A24? Yeah, I could name tons of films off the top of my head. To Kill a Unicorn, The Lighthouse, Emma. I mean, that's why we gotta love indie filmmaking nowadays. They bring along such great actors into a new art in which that it feels so fresh that even today, while A24 is still going strong, it still feels as fresh and new and revolutionary as possible. Whereas with Hollywood productions, many of them do take on the usage of overusing CG as a means to save more money. Whereas you'd think that they could spend a little bit more to up the effects and create something new? Who really knows? That's the problem with capitalism. Anyways, though, as I'm also mentioned with plastics, is that with plastic can be made as tough as possible. Glass, believe it or not, despite having a major weakness of becoming broken rather easily, it also has the likelihood of sustaining a lot of damage. You're familiar with glass that has been made to be bulletproof? Well, I could tell you something. EKG, an English manufacturer of bulletproof glass, and I'm not kidding when I say that those guys in those videos are smashing the glass repeatedly with their own fists, sledgehammers, axes, hammers, etc. And you cannot even create a hole in there. Hundreds of hits in those videos. That's really how you can demonstrate modern day engineering. The fact that they can create glass that can probably outclass even metal really is a good testimony to show that today you can accomplish anything. And I'm quite proud of how well humanity has managed to evolve. Well, hopefully I don't jump the shark on those words, but the point is, glass has gotten so advanced now, you could shoot thousands of minigun bullets at it and it wouldn't even break. It might leave a good mark on it though, because it's glass. What can you do about it? Of course, it's not the only reason why glass like that needs to exist. Think about it with modern transportation. Planes, trains, ships. A lot of those glass panels are typically layered or very thick, so that it can withstand one heck of an impact. Or worse, the chances of them possibly exploding. Modern windows and doors and many other implications of glass, such implementations have been made so well. That's why it's a great time to be alive. And we're not joking around here. So, this is it for today's episode, but I'll see you guys again in the next episode of HJN.